All right, welcome back, everybody. We've got MrCab55 with some Blast Corps, which I'm pretty sure is the first game I ever rented for the Nintendo 64.
This was a game I definitely rented a few times, which led to me eventually getting it used. I wonder how many people have no idea what's going to happen with me walking around with this jetpack robot right now. Because Blast Corps is a fun early N64 game, and here we go, right? So let's reset and get things started. So for those who are not familiar with Blast Corps, this is a Rareware game. He said conveniently as Rareware's logo appeared on the screen. And the plot of this game is that there is a runaway nuclear truck carrying a missile that was meant to be dismantled. And if it bumps into anything, it will explode and destroy everything. So we're going to make sure it doesn't bump into anything by destroying everything. Don't ask questions. This game is actually pretty fun, though. Highly recommend playing it. And as soon as I get a name in here, I think we're going with GOC for Game Over Cancer. That seems reasonable.
Sounds good. Let's gawk it up.
All right. So do you want me to give a countdown? You give a countdown, or we're ready to get going as soon as I hit start on the screen?
Best.
What's up?
If you can give us the countdown, that'd be great.
All right, let's go from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. So clearly, if we want to destroy a whole bunch of buildings to clear a path, bulldozer seems like a good idea. Fortunately, it's an N64 game, so we have a lot of camera lag. Every time there's a lot of explosions on the screen, you can see the game here kind of struggling. So we do have some camera manipulation we can do. Ugh. Assuming you can actually do both at the same time. You still have to actually steer while you're doing all that. So once you destroy all the buildings that have arrows pointing at them, they say, good job. Everything's clear. You can get out, hop in the exit vehicle, and everything's good. We get to move on to more stages. Next, we just have a series of little tutorial stages because apparently a bulldozer wasn't easy enough. So we get this thing. So the Sidewinder seems plausible, I guess. We're just going to have this truck that has pistons that shoot at the side of it, I guess. I don't know who's making these design choices, but, you know, it blows up buildings pretty well. I guess it's okay. Show us what you got. Everybody who's played this game, like, just knows all the memes. I think I know the memes. I'm not sure. They're funny.
You can do this.
I think I can do this. So our next tutorial level here, the J-Bomb, I think it is. The kind of jetpack robot. I don't know. This is like the actual upgrade over the bulldozer. Like, bulldozers are cool. Jetpacks, though. I mean, come on. So this is a level that actually kind of shows off, too. You can kind of see these buildings falling apart in chunks. So we definitely want to aim for the middle and just let the robot stomp things down. If you miss a chunk of the building, you can see like half of it's destroyed there. So you got to be at least a little careful when you're going for optimal strats. I'm unfortunately not optimal myself. We're just having a good time here. And if you thought those first, what is it, 4 vehicles were fun, for some reason, they gave us this. This is, I think it's named the Backlash, and it's a dump truck that we're going to do wheelies in to destroy buildings with, because this seemed like a good idea to somebody, I guess. It is unwieldy. It's damn near impossible to control, but we're going to try. When you see somebody who really knows what they're doing with this game, like this thing's over in like 10-15 seconds, and it looks beautiful. You're stuck with me, so that took, what, like closer to 25 seconds? We're going to go straight into its level and hopefully go relatively quickly through it. You see, we're just kind of doing these nice big swipes with it. There are some other tricks for destroying buildings with it, and as soon as that green arrow points up to the next building, we can just move ahead. So one more trick you saw there immediately, if you drive off a rock, pretty much any vehicle in this game, if it hits a building while it's in the air, it's going to just completely annihilate it. So we want to do that as much as possible, like right here again. I said right here again. Thank you, building. So we have one more here. And those who know this game know the official any % goal for this game isn't just clearing all the levels. Yes, we're clearing this path for this nuclear missile carrier, and that's all well and good, but you know, there's this eventual problem that we're going to have to solve called actually doing something about it and stopping it. So there's 6 scientists hidden away in the game. They're taking shelter somewhere in hard-to-find locations, and we want to find them because they can apparently solve this mess somehow. Don't ask questions. The game itself even eventually says nodding along with the increasingly ridiculous plot, so don't worry too much. I'm going too far here. So, they're in all these weird places. We want to find them. We want to find them the same time we're in the level. You can come back to the level afterwards, and the carrier's not here anymore. But, obviously, you know, it's a speed run, right? We don't want to have to re-enter levels if we can avoid it. So, we're going to go to this really bizarre, out-of-the-way place. There's actually a neat clip that gets the dump truck out of bounds to get here, which is a lot faster than what we're doing here. And yes, again, highly recommend check out the Discord. They've got actually a lot of strats that, believe it or not, were extremely helpful for me getting down my time as far as down as it got. So let's get out of here. We've talked to the scientists. Now, there's sometimes, like, if this carrier gets all the way to the end of the level's just going to end, which is nice, because then, you know, it doesn't matter how much time we lost getting this far. Of course, if we can still get to the exit, that just saves even more time. We just want to make sure we don't crash into it ourselves, because that's a thing that can happen, and you feel bad. And you have to play the level all over again. Not a great idea. But yeah. This game is on the Switch N64 pad, so yeah, you can check it out. This is just a fun game. We get a promotion after we blow up enough stuff. We are now a trained crusher. So go ahead and I guess donate with what you think a trained crusher is, because I don't know. But we're doing it.
Speaking of donation, can I take a quick moment?
Go for it.
We got a $50 donation from a silly person.
Nice.
Saying, let's go. Good luck, Mr. Cab, and with Blast Wars.
Thanks, silly person. Okay. So this is the level where we find that the bulldozers, it's good, but it has a lot of trouble with anything with any real structural integrity. Like it's still very effective though. Right? We still got through this level pretty fast.
You're just trying to impress me.
I probably am, but that's another story. We're just gonna keep going through these so-called easy levels. This is one of those levels. Don't hold A off the start, even though we're driving a car. You'll immediately crash into it. And again, we're just gonna move this camera, zoom it all the way out, because it's an N64 game. Anything you can do to reduce lag is a good thing. So we're just gonna get in this thing. This is the Thunder Fist, which we will have the tutorial level for in a little bit. It just kind of rolls and shurikens everything. I'm gonna hope that I'm hitting everything in the line here.
Nice work.
We did it. It looks really cool, but unfortunately we have to like zoom out a lot just to save all sorts of time because, you know, laggy N64 explosions. It's a shame. So let's keep going. This is actually the Skyfall, I believe. Predates the James Bond movie. Don't at me. It's actually kind of cool in its own right, and we'll see it pretty soon. But jetpacks, come on. This is a good level to demonstrate that you don't have to actually destroy the entire buildings. You just have to destroy the path for the carrier. If you're getting 100% in this game, of course, yes, you do come back. You start destroying everything, finding all the survivors and lighting up all the little lights on the ground that are the closest analog this game has to coins. But yeah, that's that. And I believe that wraps up all the easy levels. They're the easy levels because the game calls them easy levels. See? So there's 3 rings of levels we have to clear while finding all the scientists. Those are the easy ones. Now we move on to the, the medium levels, I guess.
Time to get moving.
So here's our Skyfall tutorial. The time trial to get a platinum medal in this is like 6 seconds, and we just completely choked it. That's not too bad. So again, any time a car is in the air, bouncing around, and if it hits a building, the building's gonna blow up. That's what we want. You're now an experienced Ravager. Don't ask my partner what that means. We got one more tutorial level over here. Thunderfist again.
Good luck.
It's kind of a weird level because it marks all these crates. The small crates as buildings, but then the giant collection of shipping containers are one building each. I don't make the rules. I'm just playing Blast Corps. There's some amount of time, like, once you hit something, it kind of goes into that big uppercut motion, and you have, like, a second or two of just touching anything, and it will just explode. Sometimes you roll into a building, it won't actually blow up at all. So you got... I wish I knew, like, the full physics of how this works, because then my life would be easier. Come on. This is actually a level where the carrier moves surprisingly fast. But again, we're trying to just get out of here.
Nice work.
There we go. You can see this game just choking on the lag as we go, but
You're just trying to impress me.
once you start like actually getting good at this game, you can start zooming the camera out and zooming it back in, and just work with it that way. This is Echo Marines. We got our jetpack, and now the game decides, you know, flying around with the jetpack and stomping everything is too easy. The arrow is pointing off there to the left. This arrow is pointing to where we are. But this is the first time in the game. What we actually need to do is get this train's cargo bed over a gap. Money for destroying things? Yeah, I mean, I guess we're getting paid for causing property damage. That's our score, I guess. So when you see the smiley face on a boat or a train, that's when you know it's in position and things can go over the cargo bed safely, like, I don't know, something holding a giant missile. So there's a few spots in the game where we have to just move something into place. In fact, right after this, we have another boat we have to deal with. First, we gotta just clear this stuff out. You have to kind of know the levels just to save these little bits of lag. The scenery is not bad for an N64 game. It's like a little plain, but I kind of like it. So here's the boat. Let's move this over. Watch the carrier just go over that little bump. I want to say the record run is actually done with this level right about there. We're doing what we can. If the carrier touches that cart, it does give us a game over, so we don't really want that. Fortunately, the game doesn't really care if you park a vehicle in the way, as far as like meeting the requirements to end the level.
Not a scratch on it.
No trouble at all.
No trouble, no trouble. Let's just keep going. You see those little like satellite dishes on the side? There are like secrets in the stage that open up little bonus levels. I'm sorry, we gotta blow the train whistle a little bit. So this level, kind of departing from what I was just talking about, it wants to introduce this concept of the crane. You can kind of see the crane here causing all sorts of lag as we walk across this big bridge. There's actually a giant piece of dynamite on our train that we're supposed to basically get the bulldozer here on the crane and go across so we can blow up this building, because we can't blow it up with the bulldozer. It's just not going to fall down. The 1.0 version of this game has a nice little bug where if you're trying to get out of a vehicle and you're right up against it, the game eventually says, we gotta let the player out somehow. We gotta let the player out. What are we gonna do? Just get rid of the building. Just get rid of the building. And We're definitely not going to abuse that to become a decorated damager. No, 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 not me. That was completely legit. So more new vehicles. I guess they decided driving a dump truck around really wasn't a good idea after all. So now they've given us this sort of motorcycle that fires missiles, I guess. I don't know why they didn't give us this the first time, but I'm going to use it now.
It was still in R&D.
Go ahead.
I said it was still in research and development.
It's still in R&D?
Probably.
Probably.
Nice work.
So this is another level with a scientist in it. So again, we're going to be, you know, mini race against time here to try and find the scientist before the carrier reaches the end of the level, ending it automatically on us. There's times where that's actually good because it means we don't have to navigate from the scientist to the exit. There's times too where the game just doesn't want to control nicely for you. You have kind of relative left-right controls with all the vehicles, so I'm never really like pushing up or down. It's more of just gas, reverse, and then turn left, turn right. So sometimes when you're facing the wrong way, things get a little wonky. No big deal.
No trouble at all.
That one's kind of a weird scientist to find. There's a couple more here. Let's see, where are we going next? Oh, so here's
I
Skyfall.
hope this works.
Again, just we're bouncing around. We're gonna blow stuff up, so we want to do that. Where is this thing? You can always usually have that last resort of I'm just going to ram into the building anyway and hope for the best. It's obviously better to just kind of do that. Activate that just to show off what happens. Hooray. 100% you actually get like little time trials with races with all these cars. There's a lot of fun to be had there, but it takes longer than this. I just want to have fun playing Westworld for a little bit. Cab, what are you doing? As I said earlier, sometimes you could drive in circles and try and figure out how to maneuver this thing, or you could just crash into the building a lot.
No trouble at all.
No trouble. We did it. Outland Farm. Let's see if we can get this. I'm going to give the carrier a little bit of a head start. And I do want to actually give this a couple of tries. Or at least get into the air once. So we're obviously not supposed to be able to do that. Or this. Oh my god, we got it. So, if you turn at just the right angle, you can kind of clip through the bottom of that bridge, get up here early, which saves time. There's supposed to be this really long drive all the way around the map before you can actually get here. And it's long and slow, and it actually even then makes the level harder because now you're at a point where you've got to take these buildings out in that much less time. Works on every building. So now we have a lot more time to deal with these farmhouses in the way. And again, silos and doing donuts on grass fields, not exactly the easiest thing to do, so we're just going to start using that. I think it's a 1.0 glitch for this game to be able to do that.
Nice work.
Nice work.
Not a scratch on it.
And even with that, right, the carrier's basically already here because we did not play well. But we got here. Ebony Coast. So this is another level where we're supposed to kind of put the bulldozer on this train's cargo bed get it all the way down, and then use the TNT crates, which, you crash them into things, they blow them up. And on the revisit to this level, you can come back here with a TNT crate, or we could just do that. So this serves a couple of purposes. One, we can actually get to the scientist a lot faster now, because we don't have to take a bulldozer all the way down there, get another crate of dynamite, take it all the way back just to unlock this thing. So we can come all the way over here. Here's the scientist, like way out of the way. If you're wondering, actually, when you play this game, you will get hints. The game will tell you which levels have the scientists eventually, and then every scientist points to another scientist. So you won't be completely lost forever. The game's gonna throw you a bone. So yeah, here's these buildings. The bulldozer, again, can't actually take them out on its own, but the jetpack can. The game wants us to come down here and take all those crates of dynamite and TNT and use them to destroy the buildings, or we could, do that.
No trouble at all.
More promotions. That is also like a level, and you'll start to see this in the background of some of these, where there's these giant floating metal orbs in the air, and I don't know what's going on there. But the game, I don't know what they were thinking eventually for what else we could do. So this is already going just great. I think this is the second and last time we will see the Sidewinder. And this is going to be a good example of how to not play this game. So again, we're trying to make sure we take out as little as possible just so we can get out of here as fast as possible. The problem is going to be that we've already lost too much time. It's probably my greatest regret in warming up for this is I couldn't get this timing down again. This is actually the last building we have to destroy. But there's a scientist in this level. The problem is it's really far out of the way, and even from here,
You're just trying
we're not going to make it. You could kind of just barely see in the background there a bulldozer. And we're going to go right to that bulldozer right now. This is going back to what I was saying earlier, where in this game, when the carrier reaches the goal, it doesn't care if you're still doing something or not. The level just ends. This is a level where optimally you get through the first part fast enough that you can do everything I'm about to do and get to the scientist really just as the carrier reaches the goal, because that then ends the level with the scientist intact. Now that we're coming back in here on what amounts to a revisit, we're going to have to go to the exit manually from all the way back here. So we have to get in this. That's what using the bulldozer for a crane looks like, since we didn't get to see that earlier. I have to blow up this entrance, I guess? And that's that. So optimally, this is where the carrier reaches the goal. We don't have a carrier anymore, so we have to just exit the level. The exit's that yellow truck I always get out at, and you can kind of see it on my little radar screen there as a giant yellow bar. Bulldozer is, it's a neat little car. It goes kind of fast. It's effective at destroying like local buildings, I guess, like more rural ones. These more like big factory things. Just doesn't work. That's the best description I can come up with for it. Hey! And I hit go again, but now that we've actually reached the goal, we can quit the level. Medium levels. It does call them medium levels. So we got a few more levels, and then that's this game. Diamond Sands is probably the hardest level in this game. There is actually a clip to get on the tracks, which is kind of neat. This is otherwise you really did learn how to do this, right? Because now you have to really into a big house that's built across train tracks. I don't understand, but we're gonna do it. It's worth noting that this is actually a level that really exemplifies some of the other little tricks you can do with the backlash, like driving parallel to a building for some reason. Just works really well. Otherwise, crashing into a corner tends to be the best way to deal with them with a building. So there's a few other tricks you can do. Setting up the glitch for this level is not that bad. You have to kind of... You can get onto the tracks easily, but then you have to like do things because the tunnel that goes underground has some invisible walls around it. Kind of like the bridge did a couple levels ago, and it is very bizarre. But if you can do it, and you get the dump truck to kind of bounce up high in the air, you once again have a car that's in the air, and you just drive right through this whole mess instead of doing anything that I'm doing right now. Also, can we just get a shout out to the music of this game for a second?
Alright, shout out to the music of this game.
Like, this game has no right having music that is this good. Like, this is peak rareware, is all I can come up with. Now, as much as we're about to start using the Z trick, no reason not to use some dynamite there. Who's there for us? Level. This is a level where if you don't really know what you're doing with the dump truck, you're gonna find out really fast what you're supposed to be doing. Fortunately, this really massive building that can only be destroyed by dynamite, really, you can just ignore the entire right half of it.
You're just trying to impress me.
So that's what, one hard level down, and there's 8 of them. Oyster Harbor. So, you know, they tease you in this level because they give you all these missiles up front, and all you really do with it is free the bulldozer so you can run to it. And again, you can see the camera's really struggling to deal with this. We turn it to the right, and the game just moves that much smoother. It's an N64 problem. It's fine. We still love this game. You know, 3D is hard. Also, turning this thing around is hard. Again, we're gonna zoom the camera out because the game just runs that much smoother when it's not struggling to draw explosions right up in front of you. All that dynamite and that crane on the right, that's what the game wants us to do for this. Bring the dynamite over here and then just lower it down on top of this and blow it up that way. That takes time. Believe it or not, this was a lot faster than doing any of that. This is another spot where the game immediately trolls us in this level. That diamond that's right next to the diamond-shaped hole, we need to use it in this one over here on the right. Otherwise, we don't have enough to fill in the holes. I guess they decided that knocking down buildings was too easy for the bulldozer, so you get to play something that amounts to Tetris instead. Come on. Come on. There we go. Oh my goodness. This level is also annoying in that there's one building at the end that we are hypothetically supposed to require TNT to blow up, but we've already at this point in the speedrun established that's not something that's going to stop us. But you also need that TNT to get a boat through to where the scientist is. In fact, sometimes that TNT just doesn't even want to destroy that barrier, and that's really annoying. So we're going to ignore it. What is going on? I guess it's a good enough idea, because it is working. If you drive off the ramp, it's that much easier, but okay. So there's 3 boats here, and you need to drive over the second boat to get to the third boat. You need to get the third boat all the way to the end to get the TNT that we need for the very end. So if you're playing this game casually, this is really annoying, and that's why the carrier moves so slowly in this level. So, as chat just said, this game is 100% perfect, and one-frame taps are our friend. No, come on. You'll know if I get it, trust me. So there's a barrier on the right here that we're supposed to use some TNT to get through. We don't want to do that. We want to not revisit this level. And we're through. So now we need the bulldozer to be accessible here. Because now we can use our favorite trick to get through it. Check on the carrier. We've got some time. Not a lot of time, but we have time. I'm going to cut a little close here. Fortunately, it moves extremely slowly in this stage, because the game knows you have to deal with a whole lot of nonsense in this level. We have our face, so we can meet the scientist. Get out here. So, cutting a little close, especially when you see what we have to do here. The actual way to get this second boat over, because we need the second boat to get to the third boat. So we have to run out of the third boat, run over this bridge, and then run over here. So there's the carrier. You can see that little green dot over there, and that's us. As this arrow finally hit a point where it's saying, you should really get the boat there now. Okay, now I gotta reorient myself. This level is like a giant mess, if only because, right, if you don't do any of this, if the carrier touches something and explodes, you get to do the entire thing over again, from freeing the bulldozer to playing Tetris with those giant blocks to I'm glad we don't have to do it. If I was taking that much longer to do the clip and become an expert destroyer, we would have just ended the level and done the revisit, but we're good enough. Angel City. I just remember the layout of this level for a little bit later. But this is another, hey, how about we use the dump truck some more? Because this game has an obsession with wheelies in the end game. You have to remember that this rock is here. Only so that we can destroy this building. Because everything in the city here is way too powerful for what it is. Yeah, drift destroying. Oh my goodness. And again, we want to use this rock as much as possible. Even if it's only with like the back half of the dump truck. Because then we can use that to get through here. We're basically freeing our ramp up. Remember what I said earlier about driving parallel to buildings? This is a nice convenient spot because these bushes leave us with a narrow passageway anyway. And this last building, rather than dealing with it at all, we're just gonna Z-trick it down. Don't you want the ability to just emerge from your car and be able to just punch buildings down? It seems like a dangerous but fun idea.
No trouble at all.
So, where are we now? Ember Hamlet. We have one more vehicle over, like, mech we haven't used yet. I'm sure this thing has a name. They never really tell you what it is. It just uses gymnastics, and as long as it's doing flips, it just blows things up. So we're going to use that to our advantage here. You have some control over it once it gets moving. This otherwise feels a lot like the first level of the game. I don't want to say for sure that it's the same level, but it certainly feels like it. Also, fortunately, fences are enough to kind of trigger its destruction mode. Look at that big beefy arm. So you can kind of see, like, if I get too close and it's not able to perform the first flip, it just doesn't work. So you kind of do want that big beefy arm to hit the ground, or at least get close enough to it. Sometimes it'll work anyway. And again, when we're not showing it off, we do want to zoom out just so we can get some lag reduction. But then you don't get to see the game, and what's the point?
No trouble at all.
It's probably the easiest hard level because it's a little clunky to control, but it's still a pretty easy one. Glory Crossing, I think, was probably meant to be the last level because you have this beautiful overview here. But then you come over and you realize that you have basically no time to get to this building. Get it? Okay. This is another what were they thinking level. They were obsessed with dump trucks. So too must we be then. I might not. Okay, no. There are arrows there. We do have to destroy them. Fortunately, there's not a lot you have to destroy, and they just kind of ran out of ideas and said, just hide the scientist at the end. If that was all 6 yet. I think we're mostly done at this point. We've got like 2 levels left.
You're just trying to impress me.
So if you've got any plugs to make, we are going off to sunny Crystal Rift.
You can do this.
Where we just have to ride the train for a little bit.
Then can I take a quick moment for a donation?
Of course.
Got a $10 donation by Toronite saying, happy to donate to this cause. As somebody who has family dealing with cancer presently, I want to see a world where cancer is eradicated and all our loved ones live long, happy lives.
Thank you so much for the donations. Fortunately, this level has a bulldozer in it. They just put it all the way over here. I don't know why we didn't put the bulldozer on the train. It seems like it would have been a much more efficient solution, but here we are. So with that out of the way, and I mean, using the Skyfall to pick up the silos is probably still the most efficient way to take those down. Okay, to do this. Weird level. Done.
Nice work.
And I think you can see one of those giant steel orbs in the background on this one.
You're
Maybe
just
not.
trying to impress me.
I think this is the last promotion we get, so you get to become a gifted ruiner of speedruns. Where are we going? Yep, Obsidian Mile. So,
Time to get moving.
this level got the first... This robot gets the first level in the game, and now I think it gets Angel City all over again. So, yeah, like you mentioned earlier, right? This was an early blockbuster rental game. This was a lot of fun at Nintendo Power in the 90s. I think last summer was when I finally decided to try and get put some speed to this game and learn a little bit of the speed tech. I've obviously learned some of it, but clearly not all of it. But it's a fun game. Somebody in chat mentioned earlier it's on the N64 pack now that Rare puts things out too, so yeah, check it out. It's a lot of fun. Join the Discord, say hello, check out the speedrun notes because they've got a beautiful wiki that links to a lot of the strats out on YouTube, so check out this game, he said as he was furiously trying to get the Gymnastics Bot 5000 to do its job. You just see all this lag happening. But time on this is after we leave the final results screen and we get the you found all of the scientists and cleared all the hard levels. Just because this building decided it wanted to stick around a little bit longer. We're extending the marathon. That's what we're doing. Let's get out of here.
No trouble at all.
No trouble. And that's time. 40:04. I think that's a little under what I said it would be. I forget what I said it would be at this point. But yeah, that's Blast Corp. We did it. So now that we've gathered all the scientists, we destroyed a lot of things that this thing could roll around. We're going to solve the problem by letting it drive itself into a canyon. I don't work at Rareware, so I don't know how they came up with the plot. But we're going to let this go now before they literally take this game to the moon. And that's when things just get really out of control. But this is the any percent sort of beat the game category. Thanks everybody for letting me come on and show up this wacky game. I hope it was fun.
It certainly was. Thank you very much, Mr. Cab, for running this for us. It did bring back a lot of great memories. Though you did say how good the music was here, but I gotta tell you, the next game coming up has an amazing soundtrack, so stay tuned, everybody. We've got Streets of Rage 4 coming up.
Ooh, that one does have a good soundtrack.